Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode here in NHL 22. So in last episode, we took on the Nashville Predators in the second round, and we managed to beat them, and now we're going to be taking on the Seattle Kraken in the conference finals. Winner of this will go to the Cup finals against either New Jersey or Florida. But as you can see, we actually had a little bit of an easier time with Nashville than we did with Calgary, which is a little bit weird. But we won the first two games. One of them was in overtime, and then we lost 3-1. I thought they were going to probably come back in the series and tie it up or something like that. But then game number four, we just all of a sudden had a really good offensive last two games, 7-2 and a 5-2 win, and we managed to take them out only in 5 games to advance back to the conference finals again, where we were a few years ago. Last year we got knocked out in the second round to Colorado, so we're already doing a little bit better than last year. Now Seattle's kind of an interesting team because a lot of their roster is veteran heavy, I'd say. So I don't really know what to make of it in terms of that, but they do have a good center depth. They got like Sillinger, they got Doc, they got Teravainen, and you can see that they got the good complementary offensive pieces like Jocelyn and Grolo, who actually has some good potential. You also got Robertson and Foote, so it's a pretty solid forward core. And then defensively, they're a little bit on the weaker end, but they do got some good younger defensemen that could be on the uprise like Gunderson, Rogalski, and Asham. Goaltending wise, they're not the best either, but they do got Dwyer, who's pretty solid, and Petit. But so those are two solid-ish goalies. Some of them have potential, some of them don't. Dwyer's already 28, so. And then depth-wise, they got Dan Bugner and Gage Concalves. So I hope that we could beat them. We beat them in the conference finals, like I said, when we went to the Cup finals last time we played them, I'm pretty sure. So I'm really hoping that we can manage to knock them out again and get ourselves back to that Cup finals. We have played New Jersey before in the Stanley Cup finals. I believe that was in our back-to-back Cup wins. And then we've never played Florida, obviously, in the Cup finals. So, should be interesting nonetheless. Both the Eastern Conference teams swept their second-round matchups, so they got there pretty quick. And then for Seattle, I don't really know what happened. I got to take a look at that for fun. How did Seattle get here? They took out Colorado in 6 games, so unfortunately, Pettersson went back to losing in the second round. He did get to the Cup finals last year, but none of those former Colorado Avalanche players are going to win the Cup this year. But anyways, let's get into this conference finals and see if we can make ourselves back to the Cup finals. Because we went to 3 straight Cup finals, then we lost in the second round, was in it. And then now we're back here in the conference finals, so we'll see what we could do. Here we go, game number 1 on home ice. Let's see if we could use this to our advantage again. We're 8-3 in the playoffs. Let's go, boys. First period, scoreless. I'll definitely take that. 8-7 the shots in favor of Seattle, so very even first period. Not a lot of shots and no goals either, so good goaltending, which is good because Korea's been our best goalie so far in the playoffs by a large margin. He's like 7-1 so far. Second period, 4-0. Let's go. Offensive incline again in the second period. We had that like last round as well because I don't remember if it was game number 5 or it was game number 4, but all of a sudden we just had a like huge second period, so that's good to see. Shishkinov scores again. He's been on a little bit of a tear as of late. He had 2 goals in that ending series game against the Preds, and then Yoshimura scores, Agostino scores, and Shelley scores, so very good start to this conference finals for sure. 4 goals on 19 shots. They have nothing on 17. Let's lock this one down and take game 1 if we can. And then, yeah, hopefully we can have a good second game as well, as Foote scores on Korea to make it a 4-1 game, but Penner answers back with a goal to make it 5-1, which is nice. Good to see we have an answer for their goals. But yeah, the shots are pretty even in this game, so it's been a little bit of an even game, but we've been definitely outplaying them in terms of goal scoring, as Shelley makes it 6-1. And we are going to take game 1 by his final score of 6-2. Robertson got a late goal, but we do win that one. Shots were even in that game as well, 30 apiece, but we win by 4 goals. So, Shishkinov from Yoshimura, Yoshimura from Penner and Burkov, Agostino from Spalling, Shelley from Penner and Yoshimura, Penner from Yoshimura and Shelley, and guess what? Shelley from Yoshimura. So I think Yoshimura just had a 4-point playoff game, maybe a 5-point playoff game. Yeah, he had a 5-point playoff game, so this rookie's having an insane year. 5 points, 1 goal, 4 assists, plus 4. Yeah, that third line's been really good. Yoshimura, Penner, and Shelley combined for 11 points in that big first game. How about plus minus wise? Any badly minus players? Only the second line, it looks like, and yeah, only the second line and maybe the fourth line or the penalty killers. I don't know. Korea was really good in that game again, so Korea continues to be off to a really good start this playoff run. Yoshimura gets first star, not a surprise. Shelley to second star, and Penner to third. So the entire third line getting the 3 stars of the game. It's good to see our depth doing good in the playoffs, because when that happens, then it's easier to win the Stanley Cup for sure. Okay, so we win game number 1. Can we win game number 2 on home ice as well and take a 2-0 series lead to Seattle? We're going to keep the team the exact same because we've been on a really good stretch as of late. Only 1 loss, I believe, in our last 10 games almost. Maybe last 8 games. I don't even really know. Can we take a 2-0 series lead on the Kraken? Come on, boys. First period. 2-0. Let's go. The offense has been great, too. And we score our 3rd shorthanded goal of the postseason, I'm pretty sure, because we had 2 against Nashville in the last round. So Keg Rodolph scores and then McIntyre score, which is kind of cool because both of them were from the same draft class, if I'm not mistaken. Because both of them are low elites with, like, X Factors. So maybe they were drafted, like, a year apart. But both those guys grew up in the AHL together, which is kind of neat to see. So it's 2-0 for us. Shots are 13-10 as well in favor of us. Second period, 3-0. Let's go, Keg Rodolph again. Keg Rodolph is starting to heat up as well, which is great because he kind of was really quiet after the first game of the playoffs. So it's good to see him getting some more goals because that's what he does best. He had 51 of them in the regular season. So shots are 22-20 in favor of us. It's a 3-0 game. Let's lock this one down here in the third period and get some more insurance maybe just in case. But so far, a really good start to this conference finals, as we should be. Because we are definitely the more, like, experienced team in terms of making it this far in the playoffs. Because the Kraken haven't been here that often. And we are going to lock it down in this third period. But Robertson breaks Korea's shutout on the 27th shot, which is unfortunate. But we do win 3-1 in game number 2. So we have a 2-0 series lead now on the Kraken. And we are 2 wins away from going back to the Cup Finals. So Keg Rodolph from Dahlin and Shishkinov, and then McIntyre from Spalling and Dahlin, and Keg Rodolph from Spalling and Sasaki. But yeah, Keg Rodolph's only got 4 goals in the playoffs, but 3 of them came in like the last 3 games, I think. So Korea gets first star, Keg Rodolph the second star, and McIntyre the third. But yeah, so far Keg Rodolph Korea's been our best playoff player, I'd say. Yeah, we've been getting good offense through our entire lineup, but our goaltending has been the difference, I'd say, in terms of some of these games, especially with the ones that we ended up winning like in overtime and whatnot too. So we're 10-3 in the postseason. I know this episode is going by kind of quick since we're up 2-0 already, but let's get into game number 3. Waste no time. No reason to make line changes when your team's playing this good. So let's see if we can take a 3-0 stranglehold on the Kraken. First period, 3-0. Man, we are dominating them. Absolutely dominating them at this point. But I feel like I could just randomly just get reverse swept because, you know, EA and all that. Agostino made it 1-0. Keg Rodolph made it 2-0. And Shelley makes it 3-0. So 3 of our big guns. Good to see Keg Rodolph continuing to score after last game. And good to see Shelley get on the board. And, of course, Agostino as always. Shots are 16-7 in favor of us. It's a 3-0 game. Second period, 4-1. Let's go. Borgo made it 3-1, so they almost got back in the game, you could say, a little bit. But then Agostino with another big goal. Shots are 30-18 in favor of us. We're absolutely dominating this conference finals appearance. Let's just lock this one down in the third period if we can here. Penalty kill, nicely done. And Michkov makes it 5-1. I almost forgot about Michkov because he hadn't scored in a long time. Penner made it 6-1. Nystrom makes it 6-2 though. But yeah, Michkov hadn't scored in a while, but everybody else is scoring, so it was like no problem right there. Penner makes it 7-2. Oh man, our offense is killing these Kraken right now. It is slaying the beast. I just feel like it's like a pirate movie where like there's like a pirate ship and there's like a big ass Kraken that comes out of the water. So 7-2 win. Shots were 42-27. Another good game from Korea for the most part. And great goal scoring from our offense. So Agostino's 10th from Michkov and Matthews. Keg Rodolph from Geeky. Shelley's 7th, which is kind of crazy because he's on the third line from Yoshimura and Penner. Agostino's 11th from Matthews and Michkov. Michkov from Matthews and Agostino. Penner from Shelley and Penner from Dahlin. Wow. I don't want to go continue. I know to go 3 stars. God damn it. Oh well. I wanted to see who the 3 stars were because I like checking that every single game. So we are one win away from going back to the Cup Finals, and right now it could be Florida, but it's a very tight series, it looks like, in the East, which is interesting because both those teams swept that second round, so maybe I'll go to 7 games at Conference Finals. But look at Agostino, 18 points in 14 games. Pretty impressive so far. I don't want to make any line adjustments, but I need to add a little bit more time to this episode because I don't want this video to be only like 10 minutes long, because then you guys will be like, what the heck happened? But yeah, the depth score in this team so far, let's just run through this a little bit, has been pretty good. Geeky's been a little bit quiet for a second line center, but it is what it is. That third line has been amazing though. Like Yoshimura's got 12 points, Gage Penner's been 13 points in 14 games, and Shelley's been really good. So didn't need to upgrade that third line at all in terms of the trade deadline. And then even Spaulding on that fourth line has been really good. So yeah, the offensive levels have been nice. And defensively, we've been pretty solid too. No problems whatsoever in terms of the defense. And then yeah, the goaltending from Korea has been great. And then yeah, Galiev hasn't played since. Festerling's sitting on the bench. He's like, why did I become a -8 in one game? Like, how the heck did we go from having a player -8 in one game to like everybody on this team performing so good offensively? Like, it's actually insane. Like, we're almost doing what we did probably in the regular season in terms of scoring goals. Interesting. Okay, let's get into this Game 4 matchup and see if we can move ourselves to the conference finals. Or not the conference finals, the Cup Finals. My God. See if we can get to the Cup Finals and sweep the Kraken. Let's see if we can pull out those broomsticks. First period, 3-2 for us, so that's the best offensive period the Kraken have had so far. They scored 2 goals on 8 shots, so Korea was off to a little bit of a shaky start, but at least our offense is there to kind of back them up a little bit. Agostino, Shelley, and Kagorodov. Cannot complain when your top guns are scoring like they are right now. Shots are 13-8 in favor of us. It's a 3-2 game after 1 second period. 4-3 for us. Yikes, they tied the game up. Teravainen, but Geeky scores. Like I said, he was a little bit quiet, but good to see him get on the board here with a big goal to restore the lead for us. Shots are 25-18. Can we lock this game down here in the third period and go back to the Stanley Cup Finals again? We haven't been to the Cup Finals since we lost to Pittsburgh. Let's see what happens. Geeky scores again to make it 5-3. That's a huge early third period goal from Connor Geeky. Is it enough to lock down this game? Penalty kill. No. Johnson makes it 5-4. Come on, guys. You got to kill the rest of this game off. Come on. Get an insurance marker if we can. Final few minutes. And Bogner ties it up. He was scratched before, but he gets thrown into the lineup, and now it's 5-5. Yikes. We might blow a 5-3 lead here. As they did tie the game up, we're going to overtime. This is definitely Korea's worst game of the playoffs. But, you know, he had to have one of these eventually because he wasn't just going to be lights out the entire playoffs. Shots 36-30 in favor of us. We're 1 goal away from going back to the Cup Finals. Can we do it, or are we going to a Game 5 back on home ice? Come on, Yotes, you can do this. Let's go. Colin, Calvin, Shelley, Yoshimura, Kagorodov, I don't really know. And the Kraken win is Jocelyn. Makes it 6-5 final. And we have botched it in that third period. That's a bit scary. Agostino from Dulling and Matthews, Shelley from Penner and Yoshimura, Kagorodov from Shishkinov and Geeky from Shishkinov, Geeky from Shishkinov and Kagorodov. And then Jocelyn, Bugner, and Jocelyn. I'm pretty sure Bugner was scratched, and then he just gets thrown into the lineup and picks up a big goal. Like, it's kind of weird. Any badly minus players in that game? Only our top line. And then, yeah, the worst performance you'll ever see from Korea in this postseason, probably. Do I give him a break before potentially the Cup Finals? I think I'm going to. Or else he might be too tired by the time the Cup Finals come, if we get to the Cup Finals. Because I'm not saying we're going to get to the Cup Finals now, because or else we're definitely getting reverse swept. So let's go to goalies. And yeah, we'll take Korea out, even though he's been a fantastic goalie. And Galiev is going to get another chance to play. And yeah, everything else will stay the same, I think. Maybe we'll go back to this defensive pairings that we had before, just to make sure it closes out the series if possible. Yeah, we'll go to that and see if we get to advance ourselves with a home ice win, because if we could take this game on home ice, that'd be nice. And then we might be playing Florida for the Stanley Cup, it looks like, potentially. Let's see what happens here in Game 5. See if we could close out the series after a 6-5 OT loss. Come on, Galiev. First period, 1-1. I guess I'll take that. Kagrodov again. So Kagrodov has been probably the best player in terms of offense for us this series in terms of goal scoring, but goal scoring in general has been really good for us. Shots are 17-12, but it's a 1-1 game. Damn, we had 17 shots in the opening period. You know our team wants it badly when they throw that much pucks. Second period, oh my god, are we going to get reverse swept? Borgo and Robertson make it 3-1. Oh no. Oh no, I am scared. We dominated the first 3 games as well. I feel like we might get reverse swept here, guys. I legitimately do. Shots are 26-25 in favor of the Kraken. Can we get back in this game here? Or are we going to a game 6? I am actually scared. I feel like we are going to get reverse swept because I didn't even think about how good offensively we were in those 3 games. But now our offense is going to be nowhere unless I make some line adjustments. We got to figure out something to get this team kind of looking a little bit different just to get ourselves to the cup final, because there's a chance we could get reverse swept unless we win in Seattle here, because we might go to a game 7. Yikes. Oh, I am scared. I feel like this team's going to all of a sudden botch it. I don't know why I don't have any faith in this team to close it out. Considering we've won multiple cups, you think I would have faith in this team, but if we get reverse swept in the conference finals, I am going to be a little bit, not pissed off, but a little bit distraught, I should say. Let's make some line adjustments. So this second line's been really good. Our third line's been really good, actually. Geeky's not been the best, but I'm going to swap him, Geeky and Matthews again. And I'm going to take somebody out on the fourth line out of the lineup, I think. It's got to be McIntyre, I think, or Utstorf. Or maybe we can just make some adjustments. No, I don't really... I'm going to take Spalling maybe out. How's Spalling's face-offs? 80. I feel like I should just put Delmo back in the lineup. Yeah, we're going to throw Delmo on the fourth line. Take out Utstorf for 1 game. I don't like scratching Utstorf. He's a former 7th rounder, so... But just to see if it helps out our team a little bit. Because we got to find a way to get this team to the... if possible, to the Stanley Cup Finals. And yeah, we're going to go back to Korea since Galiev lost that game. Yep, that is going to be our team going into this big Game 6. Can we go to the Cup Finals, or are we going to a Game 7 where we might get reverse swept? We are literally 1 goal away from sweeping them, and now we're in this predicament, which is pretty scary because now all the pressure's on us, I'd say, to close out the series. Game 6, come on, guys. We need to close this out here. First period. Scoreless. Okay, I'll take that. Shots 12-10, no goals so far for both teams. Hopefully our offense could wake up a little bit in the second period, and hopefully we could contain them, and hopefully Korea could do what he was doing in the first 2 rounds and half of this third round of the playoffs so far. Second period, let's go. There we go. That's what we needed. There we go. Michkov and Matthews scored 2 goals in that second period. It's 21-21 the shots, but we're up 2-0 going into the third. We're 20 minutes away. We just got to lock this down and play good defensively here. Third period. Let's see if we can lock it down and get ourselves to that Cup Finals. Come on, guys. Come on. Korea's back in the lineup. He's been pretty good so far tonight. 5-on-3 penalty kill, and we managed to kill all of it off, which is huge. And then Fairchild, the former Kraken player, of course, puts in the dagger. Final 5 minutes, and we are going back to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in a few years. Let's go. Let's go. We've made 4 or 5 Stanley Cup Finals in this series so far. We've made 4 in the last 5 years, I think, as well. Let's go. Michkov from Agostino and Geeky, Matthews from Fairchild, and then Fairchild from Kagrodov and Shishkov. So Fairchild, the former Kraken player, with 2 points in a very crucial game to get us to the Stanley Cup Finals. So that trade worked out for sure. Picking up points against his former team nonetheless. Good stuff. And yeah, another great performance from Korea. Picking up the shutout. So we've had like 3 shutouts in this postseason. 2 of them from Korea. So Korea gets first star back in the lineup, which is nice. Fairchild the second star. Michkov the third. And we are going back to the Cup Finals. Now the question is, are we playing Florida? Or is it New Jersey that we're going to be facing? And it's going to be Florida. Okay. So we've never played Florida in the Stanley Cup Finals before, but they won their series in 6 games. But before we advance to see all that, let's take a look at our player stats in the first 3 rounds. Back in the Cup Finals again. Are we going to be able to close this one out? Penner, 14 points in 17 games is unreal for a third liner. He might demand a lot of money because of that this offseason. Like, I should have probably extended him long term, because he's outperforming guys like Matthews, Geeky. I know those 2 guys have missed some games, but still. And then Spalling, really good for the 4th line. Dalmo, 7 points in 8 games. Left wing-wise, Agostino's been fantastic as usual, 20 points, 17 games. Shishkinov, 15 points, and McIntyre, 4 points only, -5. Not the best totals for a 4th liner, but it is what it is. And then Michkov, 18 points in 17 games, not scoring as much, but still pretty good. Kegurudov, 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points. Yoshi Mura's been fantastic, +11. Yeah, that third line I just love right now. And then Shelley's got 8 goals and 12 points, so our right wingers are still doing really good. Utsdorf, 1 assist in 16 games. He did get scratched in the last game, but he will be back to start off the Stanley Cup Finals for sure. And Dahlin, 11 points in 17 games, +14 in the playoffs. Sasaki, 5 points, +3. Fairchild, 4 points in 15 games, but a +12. Unreal. I am so glad we brought this guy in. He was a former 3rd overall pick of the Kraken. I didn't realize he was that high of a pick, but yeah, this guy's definitely helped us out in terms of defensive play. Burkov, 3 points and a +8. Festerling obviously hasn't played since the first round of the playoffs, wasn't it? Yeah, against the Calgary Flames. Bilesma, 1 point and a +6, and Hordachuk, 1 point and a +3. And goalie-wise, Korea has been fantastic. 11-1-2 with a 2 shutouts, a 9.28 and a 2.17. So he's only lost one game in regulation. So he's only lost 1 game in regulation so far this postseason, which is kind of nuts. And in Galiev, not been that great since his first game where he had a shutout in his only win of the playoffs. Okay, so we're taking on Florida for the Stanley Cup. The question is, how have they been during the playoffs, and how do their roster look? They've finished 43, 29, and 10 in the regular season, which is interesting. A little bit of a weird record, but maybe they're going to be a cheese team like Pittsburgh. Who knows? Let's take a look at what their playoff stats are looking like in terms of goals and stuff. So they're 12-3 this postseason, so they have only lost 3 times, which is crazy. They've only played 15 games up to this point, so they're doing historically pretty good. We're scoring a little bit more goals per game than them, obviously, just because the last round we played really good. Defensively, they're a little bit better defensively than us, but they're very good defensively, so they must have a really good number 1 goalie. They're almost at 28% on the power play as well, so their power play has been good, and their penalty kill has been better than ours. So they've been better than us in terms of everything, except for offense 5-on-5 wise, or just in general. They're 7-0 on home ice as well, which is kind of scary. 5-3 on the road. Yikes. We have 3 shorthanded goals. They have 2 shorthanded goals this postseason so far. This might be a tougher matchup than it entails. And how have they gotten to the Stanley Cup Finals, out of curiosity? They took out Tampa Bay in 5 games. They swept Boston, and then they took out New Jersey in 6 games. Wow. Taking out Tampa in 5 games. That's impressive. Okay, let's take a look at what their roster looks like, and then that'll be it for this episode. But hopefully we could beat them in the Stanley Cup Finals, because I would like to get that next cup again. So here's what their roster looks like, and I can see why they're a pretty good team. So their first line, Alexandre Charpentier, who's a high top 6, 23 years of age, with Mikko Filppula, as well as Elliot Scrivens, who's coming back from injury apparently. Second line of Travis Konechny, who's still playing at 39 years of age, and Anton Lundell, who's 34, and Ola Hedberg, who's 24. Interesting. Third line, Eric Paxpu, Eric Johnson, not the defenseman, but a forward that used to play for the Devils, interesting, and Antoine St. Denis. And then the fourth line has Bear Fenton, Matthias Nyquist, and Vyacheslav Anisimov, who, yeah, I recognize from Nashville. And yeah, we had him for a bit. I forgot about that. Yeah, because we picked him up in free agency, I think. We played him for 23 games. Interesting. And he's getting a chance to play on their fourth line. So that's their forward core. Their center depth is actually really good. Their winger depth is also really good, except for a little bit weaker on this side, but still very good offensive core. Defensively, they got Sofilis and Lahu. They got Douglas and Burkholz, and then Jakomovs, who... Wait, yeah, we traded him to Florida. You're joking me. Like, literally, I was using him as a depth defenseman, and now they're using him as an actual NHL defenseman. And he's getting a chance to play on their lineup. That's interesting. And Bohinski. So their defensive core looks quite weak, but it's been simulating really good, so that's pretty scary. And then goalie-wise, they still have Spencer Knight. And yeah, you can see why they're a good defensive team, as they have a good goalie like Spencer Knight, who's got a .935 save percentage, 4 shutouts in this postseason. Wow. This guy's having a historically good playoffs. And hopefully our offense could all of a sudden find a way to score on him a lot, because if he's really good and he gets on his game, there's no chance we're going to be able to beat him. He has not won a Stanley Cup yet in Florida, which is kind of surprising. Came close a couple years ago. But yeah, he's got really good playoff numbers in his career. No wonder he's making over $10 million. And then Juha Markkanen is the backup. And depth-wise, they got Cyrus Kearns, they got Alexei Heponiemi, who's playing at 37 still, kind of surprising, and Marian Olfecki. Interesting. So the goal is to probably just find a way to shut down their top players, and then also find a way to score on their goaltending, because that's going to be really tough to beat Spencer Knight, I'd say, because based on those numbers, he has been ungodly in these playoffs so far. And his regular season wasn't really the best either, so it's going to be a goaltending duo probably between him and Korea for sure. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to the Stanley Cup Finals as we look for our 3rd cup in 5 years, I think. And yeah, hopefully we can find a way to beat Spencer Knight and win that Stanley Cup. So you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.